respect your elders, stuff like that, which I think is a good thing. I mean, my mom scolded me too. She definitely chased me around with brooms and stuff.
Well, the other life lesson that really stuck out in my mind with you, which has been kind of a double-edged sword, is the one day when you and your mom were fighting, and your mom was dropping you off, and your mom goes, "I love you," and you slammed the door in her face. And what did I do?
Yeah, he came over to me, and he was like, "You can't do that." I remember it till I died, to be honest with you. He was like, you love your mom, and he was like, you never know when the last time you're going to see somebody is. He's like, your mom could drive off, she could get in a car accident, the last words you ever said to her were, "I hate you." And I mean, it gets me so talking about it. To this day, I don't care who you are in my life. If I care about you, or like my mom, my best friends, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't let things go unsaid. I won't go to bed upset with somebody, you know what I mean? I'll sit there and work it out with you, because you do really never know when someone's going to go.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that ever since that moment, I've always been the type of person to work it out. You know what I mean? I never run away from a situation, etc. I'd rather sit there and talk to you than...
Yeah, I told his mom to stay right there, and I went back in the house and I told him, I was like, exactly what you just said. You never know, man. Your mom loves you. When she says she loves you, no matter how mad you are at her, you say it back. And I think those things right there. My whole point about bringing these things up is being an advocate for fathers' rights. Is that you felt like you've never grown up in a broken home, because even though me and your mom fought, I made sure she was at every holiday, every birthday, everything that was important in your life. I made sure she was there for, and she in turn over time did the same thing. And that's really what my whole advocacy for fathers' rights are. It's not about against women. It's not about against any one individual is better than the other. It's about how it's so important for a child growing up to feel like they weren't an issue or a burden, and to feel like they have a family, and I like to think you grew up like that.
I was very fortunate, because I think a lot of kids that come from split homes don't get this same type of treatment, which is, in all honesty, all it does is hurt the kid. So like for me, like you just explained, regardless of my parents' situation, they liked each other, didn't like each other, whatever else it was, it didn't matter if it was Christmas or my birthday or whatever it was, it was never about them, to make it simple for you. You know what I mean? It was always, they always made me the priority, and they always aligned with certain things, it never mattered what I wanted to do. If I wanted to play hockey, or I was an athlete all the way up through college, so it was hockey or soccer or baseball, or if I wanted to be in the band. You guys came to my drumming stuff when I did that, we practiced drumming, and when I
didn't miss one football practice, didn't miss one football game, hockey game,
it
soccer,
didn't matter what
basketball.
It was, you guys supported me through everything, which meant the world to me, because as a kid, like at least for me, like I love sports, and like I still love sports to this day, but like in high school, like to give you an example, like the first thing I do for my football games, like I'd sit there and you stand on the sidelines, you go like this, and like I'm like American national anthem, whatever, but like I'm looking in the crowd to find my parents. I want to know where my parents are at.
It's funny, you did the same thing when you were graduating.
Yeah.
When you were walking down the aisle, man, you were looking around like you're looking for us.
It's it's personal accomplishments, but like I do it to make you guys proud. You know what I mean? That's like my biggest thing is like, it's a reason why I don't do a lot of things in my life, because I never want to let you guys down. You know what I mean?
Well, I like to think that we've given you the freedom to be yourself, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think we've ever once told you had to play a sport or be in a band or we just told you whatever you picked.
Yeah.
You just had to finish it.
Yeah.
Whatever season it was or whatever time frame it was that if we paid for it, you finished it. You know what I mean? And I think that really helped you out a lot in college too, growing up.
Yeah.
Is because you didn't give up, dude. You had some really hard tests there at the end of your year.
Yeah.
And you buckled down, dude. I mean, you spent 30 hours for that one test.
Yeah.
And banged it out.
Yeah.
Which, high five.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. A lot of hard work. But, no, that's like ultimately the point that I'm getting at. They gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted. They always supported it, which was fantastic. You know what I mean? It let me grow into my own person that I wanted to be. What I was ultimately getting at, like when I said I didn't want to let you guys down, is I've been like, I was at college, I've been in a lot of situations with certain things and, certain types of like drugs or something like that, and I've never done it or never tried it because it's things that like I would know I'd be doing a disservice to people that believe in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had this little thing that I think Conor McGregor might say. It said your lack of effort is disrespect to the people that believe in you. You know what I mean? And it kind of goes into what I was just saying. It's like, you guys believe in me, I want to make you guys proud. So it's like, that's why I work so hard. That's why I do things I do. Like, personally, if it was for me, like, I'm happy I got my college degree, et cetera, whatever else, you know, whatnot. But like, personally, like, I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
And I think in today's day and age, really, unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, I really think you could get a job. You know, like, I have friends that have business degrees that work at firms, and then friends that didn't graduate from college that work at the same firm.
Yeah,
You know
I tell you what, it's one thing I noticed since when I was a kid. Is, you know, when I was a kid, it was you had to go to college to get a good job.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, but also when I was a kid, it was, you know, you're gonna play video games to rot your brain.
Yeah.
And now you can play video games and make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like there's endless possibilities with now.
The world's changed.
Yeah, to make money.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I don't think college is always the exact route for everybody to do.
Yeah, that's
I agree with that.
So like I said, like, I think unless you're going to go be a nurse or a doctor or
Yeah.
a lawyer or veterinary or something like that, like, I really don't think you need to have this degree. Guarantee you might get a higher paying job off the start if you have the college degree. But if you put in the time, the hard work, and the effort, and you have to drive, I think eventually, you know, you will surpass your people that are, you know.
But I agree with that. I don't think college is the end all. Like,
No.
you know, if you don't go to college, doesn't mean you're not going to be successful.
No.
You know, that's amazing. You know, that's really amazing. So, what do you think about, you know, you being a young man in this day and age in 2023? You know, in a world that is really calling anything that's masculine toxic. You know, and how do you feel about the direction of where they're going? You know, like, you've seen me go through a lot. You know, you've seen me go through it all, dude. I've been honest with you about everything tragic and everything happy in my life. So, where is your passion for being a young man in today's society feel like you're going to lead to? Like, what are you going to do that's going to make a difference as a young man? Like, what are you going to do to, you know, to make that transition, you know, from a boy to a man to, in this day and age? Like, I know we were talking about it earlier, how you feel like there's been an attack on the male identity. You know, there's this inequality that is really against men. And what do you think as a young man that really puts an impact on you?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, it's obvious that they demasculize men in everything. I mean, not that it matters. I'm not against females by any means. You know, I have a lot of very strong women in my life that I think are...
Your mother's one of them?
Yeah, tough as nails.
Oma's one of them?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, amen. The tough as nails, and it's great. But I think in today's day and age, they overcompensate. So, for instance, if you watch a show, for me and my dad have been watching Citadel and Prime.
Great show, by the way. Citadel's a great show.
Not sponsored or anything, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. Listen, Citadel, if you're looking for cast members, we're all about being on your show.
We got you.
All right.
100%.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we're all about being on it.
Yeah. But like, this is just an example by means is like the main person for like their agency is a woman, and then the other main stars in the show is a male and a woman. Takes technically the two main characters.
Yeah.
And the guy loses his memory in the show. I'm not going to spoil it for anything for you guys, but they end up losing their memory. The girl gets hers back very soon, and the guy's kind of like the dopey, doesn't know what he's doing, etc. And the girl carries away to the show, which is fine. But like, it's everything nowadays. It's always the guy getting pushed down. It's always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's best. There's a quote, and I hope I remember it correctly, but there's a quote that says, "Tough men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men."
Strong men.
Yeah. And it's a true cycle, but like, ultimately what's happening is men are getting demasculized, and that's why there's a lot of different stuff that's happening in our world that, like, I'm not going to get into. You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Like, I could dive into this, but like, you can more or less know what I'm saying, because there's not that strong figure, and it goes back to, you know, a lot of dads not being in kids' lives nowadays and stuff like that. Like, they're missing that role. That's why it's detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, it all goes back to what I said earlier. Like, the reason I am today, like the way I am, is because, you know, my dad and my mom too at times were hard on me and turned me into the person I am today, to the man that I am today. I've been through things that, you know, like adversity.
We gave you a good moral compass.
Yeah.
You know, we showed you it was okay to be a man.
Yeah. It's just a great quality to have. It's something that we need in this world today, and there's a lack for it. And if it does exist, like I feel like you almost have to hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
Well, it's unfortunately it's been the last 20 years. You go from, and it's been a slow, steady pace of ideas that the woman has to come in and save the man.
yeah.
And again, there's nothing against women at all.
Yeah.
It's
not
just
at all. It's not.
not at all, because I love a strong woman. I
Yeah.
love a woman that can sit there and work with me on my car, or do anything I can do. But at the same point,
there's the quote, not to cut you off, is like behind every strong man is a strong woman.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
but if you watch a sitcom, the guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
The woman knows how to fix everything.
Yeah.
And if you watch a romantic movie, again, the guy's an idiot. I mean, look at that new J-Lo movie that's out on Prime.
Yeah.
He's a bumbling idiot the whole time.
Yeah.
And it really just, really hurts the men. Young men especially.
Yeah.
You
see that, and like the issue is like they don't shove it in your face, but it's like a passive thing.
Oh yeah, it's a passive
So
aggressive.
it's like,
Absolutely.
It's like, if you're not aware of it, like you see that over time. You know what I mean?
And you just
like,
fall simple to it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
we're not. There's not movies how it was, 20, 30 years ago, where it's like, crime boss is a dude. It's Shazam. It was two girls, which is a great movie. It's great.
Shazam too. Great movie.
Great
movie.
great actions too.
Yeah,
They did a
great
great
action.
job, but like it just, for me personally, it just wasn't menacing.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I was
wasn't
like,
menacing.
it
I
just was
agree.
like if there was a male in that role, it would have been.
Like Christian Bale and Thor. Because they would have somebody like Christian Bale play the bad guy.
Yeah.
And like in Thor, freaking the last one, Christian Bale played a totally evil, menacing person.
Yeah.
And again, this is not an attack on any kind of the female identity at all. It's just that there is a need, for masculine men.
Yeah, well, tell the story about Dave and Buster's the other day.
Yeah, so I took Avery, my youngest son, my little boy, to Dave & Buster's on Sunday for Memorial Day weekend, and I was sitting there playing Minecraft with him, and we're sitting there playing Minecraft, and it's a 4-player game, and this kid came up next to me, and just was like, "Mom, I want to play," and then she put him in the play, and he's like, "Look at me," and he kept trying to get my attention, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're doing, bud. You're doing great, bud." And then we got done playing that, and then we went over to another game, and this older kid that was like 10 or 11 came up, and he started bragging to me about the tokens he got, how he won all these tokens at this game. And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool." I was like, "That's awesome of you, buddy." And then we walked into the gift store, where you traded your tokens, and then two more little boys, probably the ages of 9 and 12, both of them not together, just came up and started talking to me, and like showed me what they got, like showed me their toys and like what they're getting with their tokens, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, "God, where's your parents?" I'm like, why are you talking? Like, I'm thinking in my mind, stranger danger. You don't know me. I'm some dude walking around with tattoos, wearing a tank top, and I literally I realized that these boys are all with their moms, which is great, but at the same point in time, their moms were on their phones, and they weren't really paying attention to the kid. And then the kid's sitting there, and they're literally coming up to me because they saw that I was a father figure to Avery, to my youngest son, and they saw me interacting with him, and they wanted that same energy I was giving to Avery, to your brother, and they were lacking that. And they were coming up to me because they wanted me to say, "Hey man, that's awesome. That's a great job." And they wanted that approval from their own father that wasn't there. And I don't know what their stories were. I don't know what their, I don't know why their dads weren't there. But there was definitely in that hour and a half I was there. I mean, there was 4 different little boys, 4 or 5, that came up to me at all different age brackets, and they literally were just, "Look at what I got, look what I got," and they were just showing it to me because they wanted me to be like, "Man, that's amazing." They just wanted that male connection, and I think
dude, like, good job, man.
Yeah, dude, that's what they wanted. They saw me doing that with Avery, and they were like, "Man, that's," and they wanted to feed it off of that, and I think that's, I think especially for young boys, it's very important,
100%.
To have that male figure in their lives, and unfortunately, because of the way society's set up, especially in the court systems, the male figure, even if dad wants to be there, is really difficult.
Yeah.
It costs thousands of dollars. And not, like for me personally, like I've spent $20,000, fighting, and I'm paying child support on top of that. And it puts me in a really tight position. And all I'm trying to do is be a father. That's all I'm trying to do is just be there for my son and be there more than an every other weekend babysitter.
Yeah.
And because literally when you take that, yes, a woman can do whatever a man can do, but for a child, it doesn't matter if your mom can do it with the father can do. The child wants the father to.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're adopted. I don't care if you're not. You want to know your parents.
Yeah.
It
all goes back to the thing we kind of were talking about the other day, where it's like, when you're sick, at least for me, I'm speaking from personal experience. When I'm sick, like I want to be around my mom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know she's gonna.
She's gonna cuddle you in, man. Wrap you in a blanket, dude.
Like, I'm gonna get
what do you need, sweetheart? Give me a kiss in the forehead.
You want a sandwich? I'll make it for you. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But when you do something like, at least from men's standpoint, where I'm at, like recently, like I maxed out in the gym. I got 100 bent dumbbells up on chest press. First thing I did.
How much was that? How much was that?
110 pounds.
100 pound dumbbells.
Yeah, but I made sure I recorded it, because the first thing I want to do after I did is I sent it right to my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because it's connection with my dad. It's what I like. We go to the gym, we compete all the time. Obviously, it's it's all love and stuff like that. But you have different connections with each parent. And it's a monumental thing as you grow up. So I was fortunate because, yes, I came from a split home, but if I wanted to go see a Marvel movie with you and spend the night, I could. Or if I wanted to stay at my mom's and be there, I could do that. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. There was there might have been a court agreement. I really don't know, but
no,
it never.
Yeah, no. For me and mom, there was a court order, but then it got to a point where we know let's do it anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was if you want to come and hang out with me, you came and hang out with me. If you want to stay at your mom's for the weekend, you stay at your mom's.
Exactly, which was nice. You know what I mean? This is why I never felt like I came from a split home personally, because I never was cut off from the other parent when I was with the other parent. You know what I mean? And kids that it's hard because kids that they are cut off, they go to their moms and I know if I want to be with my dad right now, I can't be with my dad. Or if I want to be with my mom right now, I can't be with my mom, which ultimately hurts the kid, which is it's all but
yeah, it sucks because really what it comes down to is when the parents are like that, it really is about their own ego.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer. You know what I mean? Because really what matters most is the child. Once you put that child first, like me and your mom did. I mean, it's 4 years. I mean, me and your mom fought in court. It was brutal. I won full custody, and I settled for joint because I never want to take you from your mom. Because I personally came from a broken home, and I made a promise to myself at a very young age that I would never let my kids miss me like I miss my dad.
Yeah.
And I think I've lived up to that. I think I've really fought hard. But I knew once I won, that I knew how important it was that me and your mom got along.
Yeah.
And that's why it was October 22nd when I won that court date. I'll never forget it. And I that following Thanksgiving, I made sure your mom was there. And even now, one of the proudest moments of my life is when your mom, looked at my ex-wife in the face, your brother's mom. And he's like, she's like, it was the only time she's ever given me credit, like direct credit. But she looked my ex-wife in the face. She goes, I'll be honest with you. She goes, I spent $20,000 fighting him in court. And she's like, it was the stupidest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
She said for two reasons. One, because he's never going to give up. He's never going to walk away. He's going to do whatever he can to be in that child's life every day. And two, he's a really good dad. I was so upset because I didn't have to record it.
You're I was like, time out.
Anybody see that?
Do it again. Can somebody please write it down or something?
Somebody write it down, take a picture.
I just need a witness.
But it was one of my proudest moments, man. It was one of my proudest moments of my life, when your mom did that for me, and said that about me, you know what I mean? Because me and her we had a rough road. But you're the perfect example of what it's like when parents do what's right.
Yeah.
They put their egos aside, they put the money aside, and they go, all right, listen, we're going to work together, even though we're not together, and we're going to make sure that our child is going to be okay.
Yeah.
and we're gonna put them first.
Well, the best
Yeah.
part about it is like all it did was benefit me. You know what I mean? It ties into literally every single thing we've talked about. Is like it gave me the confidence to go play this sport. You know what I mean? Because my parents were there, even at practices. You know, one of my favorite pictures is one of the one government mitt when my mom's handed me, like sitting there in the chair, and you're in the background going like this, and I'm just a little chubby.
She's handing the water.
Yeah, I'm just
handing the water.
Yeah. And but like because I always had that love, I never saw that outside, that you know, that tension you guys had when you guys were there, etc. Like nowadays for me, like you know, we've done stuff like all three of us, and like we have joint phone calls every now and then, and like both my parents, like yeah, you guys like say certain things about the past and like you're young, etc. or whatever else. But like when it comes to me, like nowadays, like you guys will just say like my mom's like, oh, he's a great dad, and you always tell me my mom's.
No, I love your mom. Listen, I love your mom. Your mom's a good person, man.
But the point that I'm trying to get is that it propelled me now to, you know, be able to chase after my dreams. I don't have any self-doubt. You know what I mean? Like I have self-love. I have like, the reason I'm so confident in myself today is because, you know, I know at the end of the day, like I'm a loved person. You know what I mean? I got you guys. I know you guys supported me, and like, you know, it just made me all the better of a person.
Yeah, which is awesome, man. Which is awesome. Anyway, we're gonna cut it off there. I want to thank my son.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's about time we did this. We're talking about it a while.
And I just say I'm very proud of you. And I love you, man.
Thank you.
I'm really excited for your next adventure. You know what I mean? And what's going on. If you get a chance, check out my book. You know, Journey to Save My Life on Amazon. It's also on Barnes and Nobles. It's actually in some of the pretty big bookstores that are out there. Check out my website, ChristopherDavid.com. And check out the YouTube channel, Team David Tribe. Please subscribe and like. And again, I say, David, thank you for being my kid, man.
Yeah,
love you, man.
Love you too, Dad. I just dived across the table.